I'm going to use the first button in the Autodesk Nastran ribbon tab to launch the default settings, and you can tell by the name default settings, this is what's going to happen by default when I create analysis within the Nastran environment. And specifically, I'm going to look at display options. So from display options, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically going to display constraints and loads. You can see the mesh model, the connectors, and we can actually see that. So by default, I can see that my constraints and my loads are being shown in the model. Now, if I don't want these to be shown by default, I obviously can come in here and turn that off. So maybe I don't want to see the mesh control or connectors or the coordinate systems. So by default. And then I can obviously go in there and I can turn things on or off as I need. So again, this is just a default. For undeformed edge display, I don't really want to use that red because it's kind of the same red I use for, let's say, making selections or perhaps other things. So I'm going to actually use this pinkish color instead. So again, I'm setting my default for what I want to show. Now, when we are working with nodes, perhaps I would like the nodes to be displayed by default. So again, as I'm working or generating, I want the nodes to be shown by default. And with the elements, do I want the elements displayed by default? And then what properties do I want? So again, that's related to what's going to be shown by default when you're working with your analysis.